Well, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, we're starting this video off kind of different. We're going to be all over the place in it. So we do a little bit of work on, actually a bunch of work on Trevor's car, his Model A. And we get a little bit of work done on the truck as well. If you're not into the Model A stuff, which I know some of you aren't, I will put a linky here to skip to this point. Otherwise, yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Well, folks, I think Trevor was coming out today, so the plan is we're going to do a little bit of work on his, basically what I'd really like to do is get the suspension squared up so that he can come out and start getting the frame boxed and stuff like that. So I want to make sure all of our links and the axle, because I know it's not square, get that thing all square. I'm really thinking of switching the suspension around. We had all these spring mounts and we were going to do the spring, but I feel they're going to be too soft and it's going to be buggy like. I have no problem with some of my cars, but I don't have any really stiff springs. So I think we're going to steal from the other parts that we had a set of coils. So I believe what we're going to try to do is I'm going to switch this out. We're going to make a mount up here and get a set of coil springs mounted underneath there. Would be ideal. But that's not too big of a deal with the spring side of this yet, but I'd like to at least get all the suspension parts squared, because everything's tacked, but I don't know if everything's right. I want to make sure everything's square before we move on to boxing in the frame and stuff. And then he wants to rebuild up the cross member, do all that jazz. So, with that, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is quickly pull that truck out, and then basically we can just yank it out the door really quick and put this up on the hoist. It'll make it so much easier to measure and check things underneath it, that we're square. There's the stand, like the jack on there, helps hold everything straight. We don't have to lay on our backs. It is just super convenient. And if you did notice, I got that going. There's, on the second channel, I've basically been working my butt trying to figure that thing out. So, but we got a Bobcat again, so I'm pretty happy about that. What are we doing? I guess first things first, I got to move a bunch of stuff out of the way here. And I got to do some snow clearing, but that's for me. You guys don't need to see that. We just have a lot of stuff here that just needs to go into the scrap, which is going to be very convenient now because I have a bucket I can throw it in and just dump it. So without further ado, I'm going to get started with that, and we're going to get his chassis prepped and thrown over there. So we got everything all squared up, so everything's all good. The other, like, it's square. I just noticed now one of those bars, I gotta kick it out a bit. It looks a little tweaked. We'll do that, we'll remeasure. We know the back is all good, so Trevor's just blazing everything in, getting that all welded up. So this thing's good. We're gonna have to come out and figure out the coil mounts yet. That's the plan. We gotta still build a little bit of a boxing plate to go underneath those corners, and then figure out how the panhard's gonna work. But I do like his idea of putting these on top of the axle. Just a little worried that it might be a little schloop, but we can always fix it with a sway bar if it becomes wishy-washy. Anyways, once he's done there, basically he's going to be welding everything up because we checked it. It's all good. So up under here, we got to do all of these. The front, the rear links have got to get done. Up here, we're going to box all that stuff in. And there's really nothing to do in the front. It's kind of good. We're going to end up notching out the frame a little bit just for the spring. We'll just do the bottom half, see how that is. If it has more, we'll actually raise the spring, and then we'll just drop the axle when the time comes. All right, while he's welding that all up, I'm going to come up with a mount to build a panhard in the back. That way we can actually do the coils whenever, wherever. It doesn't really matter. I feel this is right, but I might lift it up a little higher because I think it needed more. I thought I had a little more height. So the goal, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make a bracket off of here that'll hold a stud for this panhard, or maybe we can go up. But anyways, I'm gonna make a mount that's gonna stick away from the diff. A lot of guys go over the diff like this, but that's where our coil's gonna go. So I'm gonna make a mount that pokes away from the diff, like I said, like so. And I want it to go as far as I can to the other side. That way, oh, it's dirty here. That way, you'll have no movement. When the suspension travel goes, the diff won't do any of this. Sometimes you see them off the top of this to the corner. It'll work, but you got to imagine as the suspension goes up, that link is going to get smaller and pull the diff over one way. So, longer is better. Anyways, I'm going to design this thing really quick, and which is going to double into a mount over there. So then that won't interfere with anything we do with this style of a coil mount, because we'll kind of have it sitting. It'll be just past it all. Well, I cut this mount, this plate, I think we're good. It's gonna mount right there. I'm hoping that won't interfere. We might have to do some rearranging if it's a problem, but anyways, the plan is it's gonna sit here. It's gonna be a long ass link, but that's just how I want it. So it's gonna mount here. So now I just gotta make a drop bracket, and we'll probably just tack this together for now. but that is gonna mount there. So we gotta get this other side roughly, because I think this is about right height. I don't know, we might go a little bit higher, but we'll base it on this. I'll make some adjustments on this side that I can at least have 2 tabs to bring this up in case, or down, I don't know. We can cut it off after if it's a problem, but anyways, we'll probably get this thing quickly tacked into place here so that I can get, actually no, I can measure and I can figure out the drop. So we'll do that. I'm gonna do a quick measurement off the top of there to here, and then that's how far I have to make this bracket with the eye on it as well. Well, this worked out pretty good. I'm not exactly sure the height the car's gonna be at yet, so it's not the end of the world. We can always just re-drill. I was gonna make some holes, but I felt that was right. But I got the car a little higher than I'm thinking it should be, but I don't think Trevor minds, so. He likes the rake. He likes the hot rod rake. Anyways, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut up a plate with a simple mount so we can put this coil here, and then we'll build a simple hat for now. We might modify and do something, but for now I'm just gonna make the pads, because ideally what would happen, and somewhere here I actually have the mount. So somebody had made one for this coil, so we'll be able to bolt this up to the top plate. It'll be fine. We'll have to put some rubber on it, otherwise it's gonna squeak like a bugger. The bottom we're gonna make another plate, and then eventually what I'd like to try to find is a piece of pipe that just fits in here a little bit so the spring can't pop out. Trevor's out of here, but we got everything swapped around so I can get back to this thing. Over here we got, well, essentially it's a proper roller now, and with working suspension. It's kind of high in the back right now, but it's I'm thinking it's got to go down. I don't really dig that panhard, but it's kind of the nature of what's going on. Either I'm gonna have a link lower here and a mount higher over here. I don't know. But there's still a whole bunch. We're still gonna box the top here. We want to weld the nut so we can, like, you can just blindly screw this in and not have to dig into here somehow to put a nut and the washer and stuff on. I think these got to get welded. We still got to do these lower inner bracing, and I think next time he comes, he's gonna bring his motor and trans, because we want to box this, but we want to brace and beef up this center cross member yet. Just add some more strength everywhere that we can, and then hopefully get it all boxed, and then you can kind of get his body on, and you know, technically I guess we wouldn't have to take it back off. Only thing possibly is for the steering, depending how we decide to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it turned out pretty good. Right? What do you think? You're here for supper, right? You're here for food. All right, folks, we are back at it today. Today's plan, I haven't even ordered or done nothing with the steering stuff, so I'm not too worried about that. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is try to figure out just to run slink the original wiring into the cab and out, so that at some point we can actually fire this thing up. Would be nice. Not very exciting, but it's kind of what I plan to do today. Maybe getting the front sheet metal back on. I know I got to work on the box. I said I was going to do that, and I just haven't really. Whatever. I feel I want to just get some of this stuff out of the way. Seeing how we have some of this stuff kind of situated now, these things just kind of work. Let me get that little. Yeah, we got some of that stuff all in there working, so it'd be nice to run the wires through so we can plug these in, so that technically I could just start and move this thing. Would be pretty cool. And test a few things to make sure they're kosher, like this. Make sure my clutch is good, stuff like that. I feel it's all going to be pretty good. Yeah, we don't have gauges or nothing for these, or sending units for the speedo, like all that stuff. Let alone, I'm not sure how this goes, but you know what? I might make a temporary panel for now. And the thing is, I can always bolt this one back in, because whatever I do, I am not modifying the dash other than this hole. I'll make a new plate for that hole. So depending on what I do, I can go put this cluster back in if I can find some sending units and stuff that are compatible with it, and if all the gauges work. But first things first, I gotta make a patch for this. I don't think it's very structural because of the way this goes around, but nonetheless, that should be patched up. So I'm gonna attack that first, and then we're gonna start figuring out my wiring. I think my wiring is, everything's been sitting in this wheelbarrow for a little while here. Oh yeah, I know, everything's sitting right there. So we're just gonna deal with this while we can. See how there's all the pedals. While I still remember where everything goes, I should just get this slung into there, get the fuse box in, a few things like that. See, look at that, I even have a light switch there. Oh yeah, this is gonna work out pretty good. Well, Trevor's coming back out today. I think we're gonna get a lot of the worst stuff finished up on this chassis. It's kind of the plan. I'm thinking he's gonna be bringing his motor and transmission. So the plan is we're gonna put the motor tranny back in. We want to add some bracing and beef up the middle section of this frame that we all torched out. So fix that up. And then the plan is to cut some plates and box in all of his frame. That way we're kind of done under here other than the steering. I got to figure out the steering stuff. So I'm not sure. We don't know what steering box we're using or anything like that yet. So time will tell on that one. But mostly we'll kind of get it ready that we can drop the body back on, and I guess it'll not have to ever come back off again. So when he shows up, we'll be, I'll give him a little bit of hand on there, but he's kind of free balling it this round. We'll probably shuffle some stuff around. I gotta do a bunch of cleanup in here, but we'll maybe put the chassis over there just so he's got some nice, good room to work on. I'm doing a little bit of work on that thing, and I think Rolly's gonna be coming and working on his. So I don't know how much I'm gonna get done on my truck, because I think we might try to dig out a transmission, put it in here, and I'm probably gonna redo this tunnel in here for him and try to metal fab up a nice little tunnel section. I made this one like years and years ago, which it seems okay, but it's just, it needs to be way tighter so we can actually get room around our feet and stuff like that. I don't know what I was thinking when I did it. Like, I felt it was gonna be really tight, but it's just excessively tight. Like, you're almost stepping on top of your toes in there, and there's no reason for that whatsoever. So yeah, so I probably got to take the Bobcat out, so I'm going to go run grab a transmission, and then we'll slam that into his car quick, and then I can kind of daddle with that and play with that a little bit while he's doing some other floor stuff in his truck. Well, Trevor came and he left. He templated up all of the mounts, kind of walked him through that. He did that, plasma, ground everything to fit. So he's got everything actually fitting really well. I still got to make like a little fitting there, like a little bit in between the mounts and just to the front. So I'd like it to be from the cross member going back up into here, back, just to kind of just beef everything up a little bit. Because the frames are not that strong. He's not doing anything crazy. He's doing a small block, and I don't think it's anything crazy hopped up or nothing, so it's going to be fine. He brought his tranny. He couldn't get his motor. I think his lift was bad or was frozen because it's like super cold today. But we were going to just like suspend the transmission in there and build up all that cross bracing, but that just didn't work out. I was doing some electrical on my truck, which was not very much fun, and well, I kind of got like it slung through. Under the hood, I kind of have things tied back together again. I got we kind of did it this way with the fuse box inside. So this is kind of all working, things like that. Inside the truck, I have everything on the steering column hooked back up. It is a hot mess, but it is working, and it cost me $0. But I don't know if it's really worth it. I think it'd be worth actually spending even an Amazon harness, it would have been a lot easier, but whatever. We're here, we're doing it, I'm committed to it, we're gonna finish it. So I still have to string and figure out some of the wiring, but I'm not gonna mess with that right now. I moved on to, you see me doing a little bit with the steering. So I've managed to get this shaft into here, which fits inside of this one. We'll be able to bolt that together. This comes down here, so I got to still drill this, put a slug through it, and same thing up here, do something there. But then I can actually weld it all. And around here, we can stick ourselves our little universe, like our little Heim for our steady rest, which kind of keeps everything away from everything here. Ugh, whatever. It's going to keep this going, and then we'll be able to join this over to the steering box. So we'll get the steering done, and then the plan is just to kind of roughly get the sheet metal hung up into the front. So that'll be kind of a win for that. So I'm just going to head in for supper, and then we're going to come back out and smash away at that. Hopefully get all that steering stuff done, and then I'll basically mock up all of our front sheet metal. So that'd be a win.
All right. Well, I don't know where I set off in this video, but I didn't get a whole lot done.
But we got progress. So, what did we do? We got steering now, even though I don't have nothing bolted here yet, but it does steer to the front wheels. So, I managed to make everything work. It was just this one joint here that I had that I could steer into there. It was like a win that I found. I don't know what it's from, but it slid in there and then I can bolt it in place. So we burned on a Heim down here, so that'll stop any weirdness from kind of swinging around. So we kind of went here to here. There's still some slip into here, so that's good. And well, whatever, that's done. I quickly patched that. I was gonna do it flush, but I'm like, bleh. My size was a little big, so it slid behind. That's good. Side note, I should put these bolts back in so I don't forget those. What else did we do? The wiring is in very crudely. That was a bit of a struggle. Looks like a couple things I'll have to get lengthened because into this fender area, I think this is close, but it's not going to be good enough. That side will be fine. I don't even know what that other thing is. Oh, and that's still got to be headlights. Yeah, that's a headlight plug. Doesn't look great, but it is. Cool.
In the cab, it is not pretty. But I guess if you're reusing all this, it just is what it is.
It turned out I had to mount the fuse box further over, which is like way over. But I can see it no problem when underneath, like once I get this cleaned up. But I got everything plugged in. We have dashy bits sitting here, so we're good there.
Hindsight, if I do this again, budget or not, I'm just gonna throw a new harness in. That's just it's easier. It's less baloney. But I'm planning to try to stick to what I'm doing here, so I'm not gonna switch it up.
But yeah, pretty cool. I popped the window out. Like, it comes out, it works. It's really bad right here. I got to figure that out. I was mostly popping it out because when I was in there, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to figure out some defrost. But I realized there is no defrost. This truck never had a provision for defrost. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there for the window defrosters. There's a lot of mechanical stuff going on for the window opener. Ooh, this is a little broken. That's not cool. Have to figure out how to fix that. That could be a problem. That's not gonna hold the window up if the truck's coming at you. Jeepers. I do like that they open, so I have to try to figure out how to fix that. I think we could just TIG weld that. It should be fine. I hope it doesn't have to go into the slide. That is going to be so thin, I don't know if I can get away with that. We'll see. Anyways, I think I have an idea. I'll probably do some vents like just in the middle here because there's more room up into the front, and I'll get them to blow like that. Hopefully that will work. I don't know. Usually they sit like right in front of the window blowing up, but
I don't know. That's a different plan. Anyways, yeah, video started off different. I don't know. Some people are into the Model A build, some aren't. Man, can't blame you. It's not really my build, but I am kind of helping out, so that's how she goes. So
anyways, he's got the boxing plates done, so his next step is going to be he's got to make two more boxing plates, and I'd like it to go in between the mounts as well, make a little gusset into there as well. Rolly never made it out, so I don't know. I didn't do anything on that, but I'll probably still throw the transmission in and have a look at that trans tunnel. See, if you look at the way that other tunnel is right now, the way I built it is it comes off the firewall and just goes like big down. So what I'd like to do is cut the excess off of that other one, put the transmission in, and then like hug the tranny more around. That'll give you, like, instead of this being here, it'll actually give a feller some good room, especially on the driver's side. The passenger side is not such a big deal if it's like less room and you only got room for your feet side by side. But
so if you folks are still here in this video, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one where either we're playing on this or we're going to be doing some metal fab and building a tunnel for Rolly's car here. I'm not sure. We'll see where we go. We'll see what the next day brings. Anyways, catch you guys later. Bye.